Bucket list from the beginning, so.
Yes, and Angie's gonna be like off,
Yeah.
like really off, like where she's not gonna take any phone calls, right? We're gonna have coverage. Pretty common.
Sweat thinking about it.
No.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I saw emails come in last week and I just said, oh, okay. Chris Thompson's gonna cover for Angie while she's out, okay? So we'll give you information as we move closer to that date of what that's gonna look like, but you're gonna be well taken care of. If you have questions, all those things. And Angie can get a little mental reset and rest, right? Which is amazing. Okay, let's dig in, you guys. Are we ready, Ally? Ready, will everybody? Oh, so we're, okay. I like it.
It's 35.
Let's celebrate birthdays.
Yeah.
You just had a birthday, yes? Rachel just had a birthday, Janice just had a birthday, Chris and Sandy. A lot of Aries in here. Okay. Happy birthday, everybody. Do you want me to sing to you? I will. And then work anniversaries, we've got Ryan Schmidt, who's been with us for a very long time. Tasha, Paul Odd, and Josh Hillman, right? So they joined us in April, some of them many years ago.
Too.
Most important people? We are, me and Chrissy. Did you join in April? April first? Yep. No, 21. So if you join April first in the system, it's gonna come up as May. So that's where the disconnect is. But let's celebrate you two, right? And thank you. Okay, new agents that have joined us in the last. We have Christina and Seth McKim, and we have Maddie, as she goes by, that joined us, not last week, but the week before. Super exciting, because Christina and Seth are really housed out of our Portland office. They're gonna be in here, right? But and Angie's been working out of our Portland office a couple days a week, but they are full-time working out of the Portland office. And they're just good, fun people. And so we are super excited to be in business with them. Yeah. Welcome aboard, for sure. And I just want to say, our growth partner, Karen Wayland, is like killing it. I mean, she just, right? She hears that agents are struggling in other companies, and she's just like, Christy, can you reach out to them? Or I think in Christina's, I got the phone call of, how do you keep your meetings top secret? I was like, I've rented Airbnbs, I've covered up the cameras before we get in there. Like, what do you need? A disguise? Like, I'm here for it, right? And then we met in public, and I was like, okay, this is, yeah. But Kira's a great partner in that way, which is a win for everybody, right? So thank you, Kira. Let's do bucket fills. Who are you grateful for? Or whose bucket do you want to fill?
I'm grateful for Brian Creasley, who at 7 o'clock Saturday morning texted me and said, I know your dad's on the river. Just the fact that he, I don't physically couldn't do much, but was offering a truck or whatever we needed, and that just really touched me. He's just such a good person, even though it's crushed me open.
He is, I know.
He has a heart, good old heart, so it just makes me happy, and my other bucket is that I think Mother Nature is gonna get about an inch away from being in my dad's house, so, I think we're gonna be close to safe, so, but. Also, my other bucket bill is that I have Airbnbs that friends of mine are moving into today because their house is underwater.
Yeah, it's
I don't
wild.
have a place to put them.
I heard on the radio today, it's like. How threatened floods for this area. I just didn't realize it was that bad.
That's why they would be.
Yeah, it is big. We haven't left houses since 2018. And if you weren't here in 2018, I'm not saying it's a good time, but I'm saying we did a lot of good.
Unforgettable.
Yeah,
We'll be talking about that in a minute.
yeah.
I'm Phil Alley's bucket because we kind of rescheduled our culture committee yesterday, so shout out to all the culture committee people too, because they were like, yeah, we'll do it. But I said, hey, Ally, here's what we're doing for Red Day, here's some other things we're doing, like, I swear it was like 5 minutes later, she came up and she was like, oh yeah, I've already got that graphic made and it's gonna be in the slideshow tomorrow and it's, we're just gonna plug it, so is this what it looks like? I mean, it was literally like she just created it, so I appreciate, she's
Yeah.
super on top.
She really is.
Yeah. I was like, you know,
And I'm gonna continue to fill Ally's bucket because I was on vacation last week and I didn't hear anything from anybody, so Tristan, Ally, and Amy just held down the fort. I'm super grateful. It was very restful and I came back ready to rock and roll, so thank you. Thank you, thank you. And Takara for the auction, getting the auction items and the culture committee, you guys nailed it. I thought the awards event was great and got to raise some money and it was a good night. Did you guys have fun? Yeah, good, good. Anything else before we move on?
I'll say this, bucket for leadership,
Mhm.
for Kara, for Buffy, for Chris Thompson. Saturday, they did the redo of the,
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. 40 young people there. And the two instructors, I think one from Fort Myers, one from South Dakota, said they usually get like 10 or 15 people at most to these classes. And then they had, 10 adults there and 4 of our Market Center came. And then someone from like Oklahoma, someone from North Carolina, and someone from Louisville were the other adults. So nobody else showed up to be a future instructor, but our Market Center is sort of big, and I'm really proud of our Market Center.
Yeah, that is, you can set it right. We had 3, right? It was you, Chris, Buffy,
Buffy and Rob.
and Rob. Yeah, we did have 4.
Yeah.
What did your kids think? Your kids were there? How did they?
It was, they had a lot to talk about on the way home.
Uh-huh.
They participated quite a bit during the event. I'm so grateful that they went, and I can't wait till they go again.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about who they needed to bring next time, right?
Oh, I
And
love
kind
that.
of just their takeaways are just, I think the biggest takeaway maybe of all for my middle son was this concept of, what traditional thinking is, we learn, we work, then we retire and have fun.
Yes.
And that you should do those all 3 at the same time all of your life. Because he just finished college a year ago and he was like, I literally thought that there was no more value to learning than to do.
Yeah.
And he is a learning-based individual, yet he thought society has taught him that there's no value in learning something anymore.
Yep.
And so it totally shifted his thinking. So,
That's big. My mother's biggest takeaway was just the wealth building piece of it, right? Like she was like, oh, this is, I know that I need to know more about this. And yeah, I haven't made it a priority because she makes a goal to read like 50 books a year and she always hits it. And I bought her lots of books like that, but I think they get put on the back burner, right? She's 23.
yes.
Nobody wants to really pick that book up. And so it shifted her perspective on that. in a big
They think
way.
it's not for them, that they're not, yet they are ready for it. They just. don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's exciting because we get to bring that to the people in our community. And I just think It's huge, right? It's a game changer. It's literally a game changer.
What you wish somebody would have told you when you were that age.
Yes,
I mean,
we would be in totally different places, right? Yeah, it's big. Anything else before we move on? Okay, I love it. Come on up, introduce yourself, these are, so Joseph is the newest. They have, became a sponsor of our office, so we're so grateful. It's the first time for them to be in here, so thank you and welcome.
Look, we had major issues trying to get this.
Allie,
Al, thank you.
Allie, I get it.
Everybody got candy. My first presentation, they said, get chocolate, it makes everybody, it releases good endorphins. So I got a bag of chocolates in the parking lot before I realized I had not people. So I've got a note, we've got a presentation. I'm sure everybody has seen houses with decks. So I figured we'd do a little bit about deck safety. I'll do it next slide. That's about us. We've completed almost 8,000 inspections. We're a veteran and we have just recently added the foundation inspections for modular homes. We can go get their pictures and we have an affiliate that we send it off to and they can do the engineer certificate. And we do radon and turbine. Those are the next one. Thank you. In January, there's about 60 million decks throughout the United States. 50 million of them are on residential, 10 million is in, and I'm leaning so I don't see the shine. So about 30 of those 50 million are probably past their useful lives. Oh, thank you. We're building and repairing 2 million a year. So you can see that if there's 30 million that are bad and we're replacing or building 30 million, there's going to be a lot of them that exceed their lifespan. I'll just wait for you. And then, so we have the next one. According to statistics, in the last 10 years, from 2000 to 2008, there's been 30 deaths in the United States of people have fallen off the deck. When a deck collapses, 75% of people are hurt. Everybody probably remembers last spring break where they down at the kids went off they were in the hot tub and the deck collapsed. Fortunately, the water, but they did get hurt. And then so 90% of the failures are the deck ledgers where it's actually attached to the house. A lot of times, and we'll get into that. They should have lag bolts between each floor joist, should be 1/2 inch, it should be rusty. And many more, there's some more injuries by the railings. The railings you should push and it should not move it, not like the old Westerns where they crashed the pipe and off they went. So these are some other things missing flashing. If the deck and ledger is not flashed properly, it's gonna cause deterioration. You're gonna get water inside, especially this weekend where we've got water where they've never found water before. Deteriorated wood, hanger and toe fasteners, the post and beams, the top of the posts, because when they pressure treat wood, they sink it in water. And so the first 1/2 inch is probably pressure treated until they cut it to make the caps. So that a lot of them, you'll see the top of the little post, that it's all rotted out. Because all around it is pressure treated, but where they cut the top, it did not get as much pressure treated. Joint failures, foundation failures, and lack of bracing. And that's where it usually collapses. So a little bit about us. We're a one-stop shop. Terry and my wife are working in the office. We do log cabin inspections. We do a lot of things outside the box. We can write our own permit inspections, WDOs, Indiana and Kentucky, radon, mold, septic inspections, sprinkler. We do meth testing. If you see a house that smells like cat urine, Sometimes it's cat urine, sometimes it's mulch.
Well,
That's a good,
Interesting.
infrared scans. This week has been interesting for infrared because infrared can't see through walls. All it does is it measures the heat signature. Water, when it evaporates, cools everything down. So if you have a warm room and a cool spot, that helps. Then we use a moisture meter to confirm that it will. So we do a computerized report usually that evening or before the next morning. Homeowner booklet, and we offer a triple crown guarantee. It's a 200% guarantee if they're not satisfied with the inspection at the time of inspection. $100 off for the next inspection. I mean, everything, sometimes stuff happens. And then we do the buyer protection plan. We're always available by phone. Our office, usually the office is 9 to 5. We do have a call center. And they work pretty good. And then we do have online scheduling. After 20 years of being inspector, everything can be fixed. It's just time, money, and effort. I mean, we can't make that decision for your clients. So we always try not, I have a construction background, so I always try to address it. How can it be repaired? If we can give them ideas how it can be repaired, they're not running scared. They're saying, well, in the next, our first house, it took us 10 years to fix it up. We did windows 1 year, we did siding 1 year, we just did one little project a year. And before we knew it, it was all fixed up and ready to go. The halo effect, let me go to the next one. Yeah, the whole halo effect is to make our jobs to make you look good. We do that by, we're not trying to tear anybody down, and we're not trying to pass or fail house. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
On septic, do you dig the tank and look at it? Or
No, we do a push dye test.
Okay.
And it's what the push dye test is, the ladies in the office will get the lateral line permit. So we'll know where to look, and then we run the water and flush dye that. Yes, ma'am.
How do you test for meth, vocabulary, and things that's in the right?
It's a swab sample, kind of like a mold. It's a 4x4 square. And usually there's critical areas in the house that you pull it off, test, you get the cotton with alcohol, wipe it down on 4 sides, and send it to the lab. It's about a week-long test.
Okay.
From the time we sample it, and then we send it overnight. Lab will get it, and they do their tests, and then they tell us. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, we've been using Joe's company and his staff for a while now, and it's been going really well. The thing that you had up there of not being an alarmist, we really appreciate that. And we've had other inspection companies just blow things out of proportion. And we're not trying to hide anything. Our effort is just to present, here's what's going on. Not, oh my God, when we go in the house. So the non-alarmist has been really good. And gosh, it's just been working really well. We try to tell our clients that a home inspection is meant to be structural, mechanical, and safety. And that it really should be focused on those 3 areas and not cosmetic. So we just remind our buyers before they're going that it should be structural, mechanical, and safety. So their list of requests is a reasonable request list. So those are some of the things, and I don't know if you can comment on that.
I always like to, if I can get the customers laughing during inspection, I know they've had a good inspection. Because sometimes you've got brand new buyers, and as you go over the report, your eyes get bigger and bigger. So I always try and my first ceiling fan, it was 12 hours later and 7 trips to Home Depot. I got up and working. So, I just tell them, our house, thank God our sub pump is working. But 2 years ago, when we were going through 6 weeks I put 4 sub pumps in, and realized I would put them in, they would work for a week and then they would die. So I've had lots of homeowners experience that I can bring to the table to kind of smooth that their features up.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
What is your requirement for reporting, or do you have a requirement for reporting if you do find a meth situation?
We just reported as, the house contains meth.
So are you required to report that to any other, police department or any other source that requires that? Because if it is a meth lab, it potentially could, land on the deed. Or is that no longer an issue?
I'm not aware of that, but we'll definitely check into it. But usually we, whoever orders the test, then we'll confirm and deny that both agents will have that information.
Anybody else got any input on that?
I showed a house one time years ago and we went in and it was a girl I was showing houses and she brought her dad with her and he was a state police officer. So he started noticing there was 2-liter bottles there and some other components. And you can't detect it, smell it or anything. But he saw some of the components that they used to make it. And he said, we need to leave, we can't go in here, it's not safe. And he identified some of those things. It's been a long time, so I couldn't remember, but I just remember the 2-liter bottles. So
We
are there,
had an agent sell a meth house we didn't know that it was a meth house, like that landed back on my desk, many years ago,
Mhm.
right? And
yeah,
I
when the
mean,
buyers have.
we,
something
because we
outside
didn't
the door.
disclose it, we did not disclose that it was a meth house, but it's because our agent was not told that it was a meth house, right? And so then the buyers came back, it was a whole situation, and I think the cops did have to be, like, the county has to be alerted. I don't know what the new laws are, but that's probably something, yeah.
Well, it used to go against the deed at that point and be contaminated until it gets cleaned up. And
Yeah.
if you,
Because they have to sit for so long if the meth lab was in there, right? They need to, yeah,
it's my understanding, it just needs to be mitigated and
okay.
do you follow up with mitigation or anything, or you just make the
I can
report?
just make the report
Okay.
and I can verify.
It's just yes or no. What you do with that information beyond that, right?
Joe, what is the mitigation on that?
It depends on how severe it is, but most times from my understanding, it's removing drywall.
That's where it's permeated.
It's permeated into the drywall.
Mhm.
Then to remove all the drywall?
You got the house.
Oh, I mean,
It's
they
a
used
gut.
to have to sit empty for a year. I mean, they would be with caution tape around them. Like, it's a big deal.
Now it's just basically where the drywall is tested. If it's the whole house, then it's a different story, but a lot of times it's just like one room or whatever, you gotta mitigate. And my concern, I guess, is if you report it and it doesn't show signs of mitigation, where does that throw us as brokers into liability? If we don't disclose that, further down the line as a listing agent,
If you know about it.
if you know about it, and if you
We
don't
have-
mitigate it.
Okay, so hear me say, we have to disclose if we know that there was meth in the house. Have to, right? Like, there's no other option for
But
that.
your requirement is you do not have to report it to any official entity such as the police department and like that.
As far as I know right now, we'll go back and double check
Okay, thank
and
you.
make some phone calls.
Interesting.
Ah,
Thank you.
This morning.
Thank you.
Yes, did we get a,
Long conversation, new fear.
gift cards?
unleashed.
I think that button's right.
Yeah, there it is, okay.
Well, it does say on the
Did anybody else want to get a gift? Drawing?
I have a card.
This one.
Is your name on Monday? Let's go. Huh? Do I?
I'm right on this.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll get a picture of yourself.
Yeah, you guys have it really good, man. You all have notepads and pens if you just have write it on paper.
Yeah.
Oh, here's not. We go to some stuff.
You guys
Gonna
do
be-
not have federal law requirement by disclosure of medical cleanup. But
Yeah.
non-disclosure can lead to harmful effects for the occupants without. But that's, we need state.
I need
Genius.
I need a pair.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
for doing
Welcome.
this, and now we have new information that we need to get clarity on, which education is power, so thank you and welcome to the KW family.
The what? Casserole was good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's energy. Oh, there's still.
As far as 3 days, where do you go? How far do you get virtual inspections?
Well, yeah, that's what it You guys, Jackie
You
is
get
the
it.
new CA. She has a meeting right now, or she would be in here. I'm so sorry. The region booked something for her the same time as our partner meeting. But if you have not met her, stop in and say hello. Jackie has an MBA. She's a finance major. I mean, she's an entrepreneur.
She has a great personality. I mean, finance major, great personality. Who knew?
So she's in the hospitality, she's been in the hospitality business for many, many years, right? So what makes an MCA kind of hard to find is we need that very detailed brain for the numbers and the books. But we also want them like warm and fuzzy, right? And taking good care of our people. And I think Jackie's she's an amazing blend of both. So she owns, Prolog. Couldn't think.
You're welcome. I had to ask yesterday.
We covered that yesterday.
Prolog, downtown New Albany, which is an event space. So hey, if you're gonna do a client event, you might want to talk to her. She typically does weddings, so she's a wedding planner. She has years and years of restaurant management, right? So she really is a good blend, and, yeah, when the whole team sat down with her, she had like, just fascinating questions to ask us, which, yeah, just a breath of fresh air. So we are so excited to have her on board. Tristan is still gonna be here, training her for quite some time, right? So his schedule will fluctuate a little bit, just depending on what we have going on, but Jackie is now here every single day. Yeah. The team is complete, right?
Do we get to actually meet her?
Yes. Stop in and say hello.
Can she come out? She's in there.
She's on a regional meeting, so.
Who's
no,
gonna write
she's
about
here. What?
Who can I write about?
They need to, they do not check their calendars. I know.
You're the way right.
I was just gonna say that she's gonna be in the office, Tristan has been in, and the MCA, email address will now be hers.
Yes, she will own all that.
That office and that email will now go to Jackie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
She is absolutely lovely.
I know, she's so fun. Yeah. Okay, you guys, the flipping course, it's happening April 24th. Buffy or Rob, do you want to speak to this?
Go ahead, Buffy.
Sorry, Jenna was asking me a question. What did you say?
Can we just start with the picture, the profile photo of Critter?
Critter.
Take a moment just to.
Big
I asked him for a headshot, he did not give me a headshot, so I went and found a headshot.
I told you. Has he seen this yet? He's gonna die.
He's seen it. He actually looked at it.
I can't.
Yeah, it is happening, we are over 70% full, we only have 20 tickets left as of right now.
Amazing.
So if you have not gotten your tickets already, you need to, because it will sell out probably by the end of this week. I mean, sell out
It's
as
free.
free, but like.
Like, do not forget to sign up for this. And so I would sign up today. Yeah, right.
Oh, there's one.
Well, I think you saw like 30 seconds first hour that she put it out there.
I love it. Did you like target a specific group or?
So I sent it out to all the agents in Syra that we wanted to come. And then
A targeted group.
a targeting group of Syra agents. And then an old Galar list that I had also they got sent to. And then it's posted in the professional friends of Mike page. And I haven't posted it anywhere else just because we're only at 20 tickets left and I didn't want it to go out too much to be, like, I wanted to make sure that our people who have people, I mean, so if you have clients or other agents or anything that you want to be there, I wanted to make sure that we had enough space for our people first. It is going to be geared for realtors. However, if you have a friend or an investor client or someone who wants to come, there's still gonna be pertinent information for them. They're just gonna be talking specifically about certain strategies using the MLS and the CRM and things that may not pertain to people who are not licensed.
Okay.
But overall, it's still gonna be helpful information.
I love it. This is great job. I mean, what a great panel, truly. I mean, it's a mix, right? We've got Vince, who's been in the business forever. Mallory, she used to deliver meals to us at the old office on Mondays. Amazing. That's how I met her. And now she's killing it in real estate. Heather, who's so fun, and she's been flipping and holding property for many years. So this is rockstar group for sure. Okay.
And I've personally been through Bryn's class, so there's a lot of key takeaways that you'll leave with like already done Google Sheets and things that are just ready to plug and play that are really good information.
I'm excited about this. Everybody, you guys need to get your tickets. Get your tickets and tell your people. And as soon as it's sold out, we're gonna tell everybody that it's sold out. Like, let's do it today.
Know this as well. If you don't think you can flip a house, that's fine. This course isn't just about, can you flip a house? It's can you provide value to your database who have homes that need to be flipped? And you don't know what to do with them and you can't sell them. Because there will be an opportunity for you there as well.
Yes.
Financial opportunity for you at this class.
And we're gonna go through a market update here in a minute, but that right now, the key to homes selling quickly is that they are up to date, right? It is, people have more debt than ever, okay? They don't wanna have to do anything. And so we need those turnkey houses. That's amazing. Thank you guys for doing this. I know you've been working hard on it. I'm excited for Bryn. Red Day, right around the corner, May 8th, here we come. Tell us about it, Culture Committee.
And Miss Anita reached out to Jacobs Well. Jacobs Well is a organization that helps domestic violence victims, which was one of our goals. Following Anna Gonzalez's untimely passing, we wanted to make sure that we're supporting other women and families that are experiencing this. I don't know a lot of Jacobs Well, other than they do house.
It's great. I've worked with them for a long time.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about it.
They live there. They help them with childcare, with transportation, education, like.
It's like a transitional housing kind of situation, is that right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes, if they, usually they've either left like a bad situation or like, I know they had a woman who, I don't know, she went back, but who was just out of prison and was trying to work on like reuniting with her 7-year-old son. And so like they didn't really, I mean, she's done fantastic. I think she went and got a cosmetology license or something. And, you know, just really, so yeah.
That's amazing.
And they have a really good heart, like people who are like this.
Like, they have therapists on staff, like, they're not just paying the bills, like, these are the programs that. Like, we want to support.
We need more of that. Because they're
Holistic
like, yeah.
approach, right?
We can also put up the video. There is a video.
Of Jacobs, well, okay, well, let's do that for next week. Anything else about this?
So, Christy and Anita are gonna go out tomorrow and see what they need. If Anita kind of feels like it's a lot of outside work, landscaping and planting and things like that. I don't know what the next slide is that we're gonna talk about. So we might have, also, we might split, Red Day between Jacob's Well and Utica flood cleanup. We're looking into that. We are also most likely going to do a pre-Red Day. Maybe like that third April 22nd, I think is the date that we're looking at, to help. Our Utica folks and anybody that is experiencing flooding, but also that gives us the opportunity to reach out to our sphere to let them know, hey, if you're looking on how to help, this is what we're doing and, you know, just pull them in to be able to help the people that are struggling with floodwaters.
Lots of times people really do want to help, but they don't know how. They don't know what to do. They just need a group that's already organized it so they can show up, you know, and they want to be good community members. And I think humans are looking for more connection. This is just another great touch and a great way for us to take care of the community. And they don't ever forget it. They never ever forget it.
We should have.
Which is why Anita's here.
We should have almost all of the details by next Pricer meeting.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And Bobby's amazing, she's got a job form, she'll send it out to everybody, she's like the master of all the details.
For all us newbies here, Red Day is volunteer day.
That's right. So May 8th this year is
Were
the
you advertising?
dedicated Red Day. And this is where all Keller Williams offices go out and serve in their local community. And this is in honor of Mo Anderson, right? And so Mo Anderson was the woman that Fury went to hire when a lot of agents left his company. He was like, what do I need to do? And Mo said, here's how we're gonna do this. And she really set the tone for the culture of the company. And so we honor her in this way. Yeah. Okay, Mega Agent Camp, it's gonna be here before we know it, and it is in San Antonio, August 11th through the 14th. Tier 1 ticket pricing ends April 14th, so that means they're as cheap as they're gonna get, is that right, Ally? Until April 14th, so if you wanna attend, get your tickets now. What are prices on tickets at this tier 1 level? Do you know?
It's at $9.99 currently.
$9.99, and if you are in MAPS coaching, do you still get a ticket for?
Taking the past coaching.
So if you don't know, if you're a MAPS client, you get a ticket to family reunion and mega camp. Those tickets are paid for through your coaching experience, okay? There's some good command updates, you guys. So I would take a photo of this to look at the latest notes. I read through those today, and there's just some cool specific things that you can put on your settings. Does everybody have it? Yeah. Okay, MAPS events. Phil Jones, critical conversations in real estate. He's obviously like the hot dude of the moment for Keller Williams. I hear his name over and over. I didn't know. And I didn't know about Phil Jones. Even if family reunion, or I would have made it a point to go to one of his breakout sessions, but
Blew my mind. It was mind blowing.
I would not want to be married to anyone.
oh, I don't think you could do some voodoo on you, and you don't even know what would happen. You know, like, it's just almost too smart, like, yeah. These types of classes are incredible. You can learn a lot. They very little investment, right? Coaching skills camp, one of my favorites.
I'll speak to coaching skills camp. I've been 3 times. Well, with you the first time.
That was your favorite one.
This is not, it was absolutely my favorite, yes. Watching you break the board, you're parking out, that was the best.
Like, Rob was so patient with me.
This is not just coaching skills camp. This is leadership training. It is sales training. If you can coach someone and you can represent a client at the highest level to buy or sell or invest in real estate. And you walk away with more of that skill than you do ever as a coach from this training. So it's worth it.
Yeah,
You could
yeah,
actually
even if you
use
don't,
Kids.
even if you don't want to be a coach, even if that is not on your list of things to do, you would get a ton out of this particular course.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorites,
Yeah,
for
you don't have
sure.
to be a coach, you don't have to want to be a coach in order to go to this class and get value from it, you get a lot of things.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. If you guys didn't know, Heidi Fluor. Does everybody know who Heidi Fluor is? So she was the OP of this office originally. She's a mega agent, ran a huge team in Louisville and Cincinnati, all over. She's now a MAPS coach. She still has her real estate team, but she really does coaching full time. And so she was just on the MREA podcast. We should have her in one day. I will do that. Yeah. I feel down now. I don't have a lot of filtering.
The beauty.
Heidi is very systematized. Like you want a system, Heidi is your girl. Like there's nothing. Her calendar, like time blocking makes my head what it's been. Like it's just unbelievable. But that podcast is really good. Some other ones to consider, the One Thing, Empire Building Podcast, The Color of Money and Think Like a CEO, if you haven't heard those yet. Here's the social media prompts for April. I love that they do this, you guys. It's just all laid out for us, right? There's 30 social media prompts for the month. Are you guys using these? I don't know. Right? Say that no. Good intentions. Good intentions, okay. Is it time blocked on your calendars to do social media? Can you not schedule the post? Yes?
You can schedule a post. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just curious, because I don't know the answer to this question, but someone in this room definitely knows the answer. If I was to take that information, those 30 posts, and I was to block X number of minutes or hours on my schedule, say on Monday, once a week, I could schedule out the next 7 days. Jenna says yes, I know Jenna knows the answer.
Yep.
And how long would that take me to do, Jenna? Maybe 30 minutes tops?
I would give yourself an hour the first time. so
An
you
hour
can
the first time?
And then
That's
15
an
minutes.
hour once a week to plan out your social media posts for the week?
I don't think you can schedule it on your personal pages though.
Mhm. Meta, what is it, meta.
And here's what I'll say about this, is I think a lot of us are waiting for these posts like to be perfect, to like post the perfect video and all that stuff, and you know that's not what they want, that's not what people want to see. The messier, the better. Like I wish somebody could have been videoing us on Friday when the centerpieces did not arrive as they were supposed to. And I was running around like a wild woman, just gathering up the things, right? And throwing centerpieces together as people are walking, like, it's messy. Things are messy, like you walk in and it looks perfect, but lots of times we have this, and that is what people actually want to see, right? So, I mean, on vacation, I got a video of a poop house. I mean, I'm not sure you wanna really post that, but that's what I'm saying, like, that's, they don't need just the luxury videos and the beautiful things, like, yeah. Okay, Jade has a new book out. I did not know this. This is exciting. Rookie Real Estate Agent. All right, so, pre-order, shipping in early September. This is the groundwork for new agent. I can't wait to see this. Yeah, that's exciting. I didn't know. Transact with Impact. If you're not automatically giving to KW Cares, you can set that up to come out of commissions. which is an amazing way to take care of our Southern Indiana Fund and KW Cares.
Misty,
Huh?
in addition to KW Cares, what we learned too from our KW Next Gen training is that you can donate to KW Next Gen as well, which gives money to any kids or young adults that participate in that training qualify to apply for coaching with mass coaching to volunteer their time, or they qualify to apply for a $10,000 scholarship towards anything they want to do in life, not just real estate. And they gave away, I think it was like $414,000 worth of scholarship last year. So but they turned away 18 kids that wanted, that applied for that scholarship. So they said even $5 and it goes towards those books, because all of those, the Quantum Leap is free to the young adults and kids. Like, that's just another thing, if you've got a little bit of extra money to throw that way, it would be great.
Yeah.
Question, you're saying another KW thing. We have KW Cares, which is national or international?
International.
International.
Yep.
And we've, you do what you want to do out of your closings. There's still KW Sew In, is that
Yeah.
correct, for our local market centers? So if one of us is struggling, or say somebody's spouse is ill and they have to stay home to help that person. So that's KW Sew In, and then you're saying a third one for the youth.
KW Next Gen is
Yeah.
the name of that program.
And so, I know the Sew In and KW International, KW Cares can come out of your commissions as they draft a commission check, they draft whatever your donations are to that. Will, this
Yes.
one also handle?
Yeah, and when people do onboarding paperwork, it actually asks, if you wanna give on a consistent basis to all three of them, like you can elect one or all three, but if you don't have that set up, just send an email to the NCA. I can never think of what that email address is.
The KLRW.
Yes.
58@kw.com.
And let them know that you'd like to make that a consistent thing, and we can put that on the books too.
Remember in the past, we used to try to have 100% participation, so that was even if you could do $1, then as an office, we can say we have 100% participation.
We were the first office ever in all of Keller Williams to have 100% participation in transactional giving. And that was because of a rockstar ALC that were just like, we heard Ben Kinney basically challenged us at Mega Camp and said, whatever office can get to 100% participation to this first, I'll fly you out to Bellingham and we'll spend 2 days together. And I don't know if you know who Ben Kinney is, but he's kind of a big deal, right? Huge mega agent, OP, right, owns Brevity. And I think a few other companies. I think he's at this point.
Place, his team does like
That's
over
right.
2,000 transactions a year.
We got my ALC that year, just like, they were relentless, like, they were chasing people down. I mean, people we hadn't heard from in many, many months, they were calling, oh, you're in the parking lot of the Walmart cordon, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Cause we had a deadline, right? And they did it, and I still have the notes from that Ben Kinney trip, it was incredible. It was incredible that we got to take the trip, but to be able to say that we were the first ever, we kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, you guys, for a hot minute. But we're back right now, and we have a high percentage of transactional giving. I'm gonna check to see if we're at 100% again, because I know we're close, basically.
The KW Sew In, what are the criteria for how we distribute those funds, please?
So typically, we would, it's just taking it to the ALC, right? We have agents in need. It's just like at the awards event, right? We had 2 agents in need, and so and that was, there's a spouse going through a medical emergency, a serious surgery, and then Brenda's daughter, right? And so, and those funds get dispersed Because what KW Cares wants to see is that the local market center has done something to help them before they apply for the KW Cares bigger grant. Because the KW Cares grant, maximum they get $30,000, right? And so we just want to set them up for success when we make that application. And so we want to be, contributing in some way.
And do we have an ALC? It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Does everybody know what an ALC is? No. I'm sure there's people that don't.
Okay, so ALC is the Associate Leadership Council. So we just talked about Mo Anderson, right? And it's one of the things that when Gary first started the company and he had those big agents leave, and he gathered his top people and said, what would have to happen for you to never leave, right? And so they put some criteria out. And from that, he created a company that was built by agents for agents. And in that, basically, the Associate Leadership Council allows agents to have a say in what's happening in the policies and procedures of the office. They can't make decisions on the budget, right? But as far as anything else, we vote, right? On what policies might take place or what agents might get helped. I mean, sometimes there's never a question, right? Like, this is just real obvious, this is happening. But in an ALC meeting, and I would encourage all of you to come and sit in on one, okay? You all can come in and sit in and watch the ALC meeting. And we go over, we're an open book company. So we go over our profitability of the office, how the office is doing. We dig into the agent's business. We go over what are we accomplishing on the committees. It's really the agents say in how we structure the office and how we move forward. Does that make sense? Those and ALCs are, that takes place in October when interviews start taking place, and then they go to a clinic. They learn how to be an ALC member, what that really means.
Could you put out who those people are? Because like if I had something I wanted presented at that ALC meeting and I know, well, this person's part of that, then I could go to that person. And I've been on it before, I'm not currently, but it's good for agents to know who they can go and take a concern to.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe
and
it's
that,
something about who those people are in an email.
yes. And that, we did do like an ALC panel, and those people have been posted, but I will make sure. And here's something to look for. Anybody can bring things to the ALC, okay? It cannot be coffee pot issues, but we set an agenda, and if Lisa wants to bring a topic to the ALC, then she has 20 minutes. We put her on the agenda, and she has 20 minutes to really present whatever it is she wants to present, and then those things get voted on. But
It's
yeah,
a great tool.
yeah. And if
Especially
you
if
ever
you-
have anything that you want on the agenda, you just need to email the MCA. That's where the agendas are created. So you would just email Jackie and she'll make sure you get on the agenda, okay?
And
Any
those people volunteer their time, so.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
pretty
big
cool.
deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So this year's ALC, in case you didn't know, is Kara, Rob, David Green. They are all voting members. Amy is also on the ALC. She became the productivity coach. And leadership can only have one vote in ALC decisions. So she's not a voting party. I will be the voting party, but that's how that works, okay?
Thank you.
So yeah, you are more than welcome to take things to the ALC anytime, absolutely.
Just the wingman.
Thank you for that.
Fine.
Okay, it's 10:57. We are out of time, dang it, for the
Go quick.
for the market. We did this at the regional meeting, yesterday. Yeah, we pull it up just real quick. I've heard a lot of you guys, talk about big pipelines, but nobody's like making the moves. Is that happening to most of you? Your pipelines are long, but they're just not saying, yes, I'm ready to list today. Are they starting to now? Okay, good. Let's do, yeah, I might skip part of it, but let's roll it just for a few minutes here.
Month update on what's going on and some changes that are being made. Of course, this was given April 1st, so we did not have March numbers yet. So this is through March, like as of February numbers, and I'm sure we'll close out March, and we have the top 100 OPs call, I think, next week. So I'm wondering if they'll have more numbers or if it'll come closer to the end of the month. But we wanted to give you guys kind of an update of what's going on right now, what are some of the predictions and what are some of the trends that we're seeing right now, so that we can turn around and use this in the ALC meetings and in our office meetings. So Rachel, let's kick it off. Okay, so GDP, we know that there's some main things that really impact the real estate industry. GDP, unemployment are some of the top two. We know we're looking for around 2.5 for GDP. They even looked a couple of years ago at increasing that a little bit, but they really stuck at about 2% as an increase, and we're at 2.8%. So that's pretty darn sustainable and about right on track for where we need to be as of February. So this is again as of February numbers. Inflation is another big one that we're looking at. So we have inflation of cost of goods. And usually they're looking at, again, another 2% increase per year is per track of inflation. We're at about 2.3%, 2.4% is what we are projecting for the end of the year to be. And I think we're at about 1.3% as of month to date right now. And which is, again, they're saying pretty sustainable. I'm sorry, I switched that to 3.1%. It's on the next slide. Can we go to the next slide real quick? So they seem to think that that is reasonable as of right now. I think with all of these changes that are happening that recently went into place with tariffs, there's going to be some changes in pricing structures. And so the question is going to be, where are people going to move their manufacturing, and how is that going to impact the long term versus the short term? As of February, they were still saying that they were predicting at the end of the year we were going to be back down to that original number of the 2.3%. But there's still a lot to be seen when looking at all of this. Let's go to the next one real quick. Okay, consumer sentiment. So this is people's belief in what's going on in the market, what's going on in business and consumer sentiment. They said 80 to 90% consumer sentiment is like ideal, super healthy. Anything sub 60 means that people are worried and they're concerned. So we're at about 57.9%. So we're right at that cutoff, or just below that cutoff of where people feel concerned. They're concerned about affordability getting better. They're concerned about interest rates, and they're concerned about cost of goods. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. It has been a hot topic of conversation all over the news. And one of the things that it's impacting is impacting business plans and people's future planning, essentially. So a lot of people are putting things on hold, which I don't know if you've heard this from your agents, but I've heard it several times over and over. It seems like there's a lot of buyers and sellers on the fence. And they are saying, I'm going to do something. And the way that I'm hearing it from agents is my pipeline is huge. I have a bunch of people who are super interested in doing something, and then it gets to the date of doing something and they don't do something. So that's the way that I've typically heard it said over and over again. However, we're seeing people put things off and be a little bit more on the fence and a little bit more wishy-washy about making decisions on things. And so it's going to be really interesting. We'll have a little bit more of a conversation around this when we get to the rate section. Go to the next slide.
home sales. So this is still the same prediction that they had at the very beginning of the year whenever, we went for a family reunion where they're thinking we're gonna probably end the year right around 4.3 million. I've seen predictions anywhere from 4.2 to 4.5 million ending the year. We heard on the growth call today, again, that, 75% of top producers believe that they're gonna make more money in 2025 than they did in 2024. So it seems like the agents have the belief that there is more real estate to sell and that their business is going to grow. Let's go to the next one real quick. Here's the interesting part. So 2024 is in the magenta and 2025 is in that bluish color. And what's really interesting is we're a little bit behind in February on home sales. We're a little bit ahead of January, we're a little bit behind in February. So we were really interested to see how March closes out. I think that's going to be very telling. What they predicted is that they will know a lot more if we're going to be ahead or behind for the rest of the year. By the time we get to May, and it'll probably be solidified in June-ish, which is, I mean, we're already in April right now, April 7th, so we're about a quarter of the way through April or a third of the way through April. And so that's one of the things that we're getting really close to knowing how the year is likely to be solidified. And it's going to be really telling. So we really want to pay attention to those March numbers, pay attention to your local board. If they have numbers that come out first on were you ahead or were you behind of last year? Because national numbers, don't forget, we've got that Smile of America, which is that West Coast, the South, and the East Coast, where they have a lot more volatility, where their prices way increase and their prices way decrease, where ours, typically in the Midwest, remember that Mark Twain quote, the end of the world happens in Cincinnati, it'll happen there last. This is the beautiful part about being in the Midwest, is we don't have those super high highs and those super low lows. Instead, we have a little bit more consistency, and our changes don't look like mountains, they usually look like hills. So that's kind of the good part for a massive change in units, and we specifically did ask about the Midwest. And let's see where I wrote that down.
Say what? Pause that real quick.
It's just more balanced. They said in the South and in the Northeast, changes in units, changes in pricing are a lot more aggressive. Inventory in the Midwest is a little bit more balanced. So that's something that's really important for our patients.
God, I hate the mouse. Okay, yes.
It is very interesting to me that what we think is the selling season is May, June, July, and August, and that is the lower sales months. And you know, what we traditionally think of as the selling season is summer. This is showing us that the selling season is really winter and fall.
Indiana vacations are short for school anymore.
Yeah, that is really
But
fascinating.
this is national.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm just curious if, I mean, that's like glaring and honking at me right now, like, oh, because I have had a stronger January and February these last couple years in October, November, December.
I mean, the listings taken last month, from this office are almost double what they were in January.
Well, that's.
I'm gonna bring this office's numbers and Cyrus' numbers next week. So you can really get a feel, and I know we're over time, so if you guys need to go ahead and
To
go.
understand.
I just want
Because
you
they
to have
have
the
national
information
news,
to do
and it's something to understand for the difference in the way that the Midwest changes, in comparison to everybody else. Okay, next slide. Okay, so prices, annually, they are still increasing. We want, usually our long-term trend is around 4% year over year. We were behind for several years, now we're ahead. And it just was really aggressive in the way that the prices increased. So while we're not insanely ahead of the trend curve, just the condensed amount of time that it took for prices to increase is what's causing people to say that everything is so expensive. It is still increasing in pricing, but it's a little bit more of a of a typical trend rate on, pricing for affordability. Let's go to the next one. So you can see that it's trending pretty darn closely for 2025. Again, it's right about on trend rate for increasing prices. What they're trying to keep from happening is from prices from drastically decreasing or from drastically increasing. So they're pretty happy with rates staying about on trend, even though it is still increasing a little bit. And I think, let's go to the next one real quick. So home prices, annual appreciation, right at about that 4.5, which again, the typical is around 4% year after year. And so we're likely to catch up. They said in the next couple of years where that trend rate will catch up, but it will take some time. So it's still a topic of conversation for affordability. And they walk through, Richard, can you go to the next one? So they walk through affordability, and I think this is an important one for people to understand, is if you look at the historical average of 2000 to 2024, then it's about 20% of the income was the trends on housing prices and what their rates were. However, the historical average is about 27%. Today, we're at about 35% is what they're predicting that we are going to end the year at. And it just seems more expensive. So that's why people are feeling stretched. And I mean, there was, I cannot remember the percentage, so I'm not going to make up a percentage, but there was a large percentage of people that make $250,000 a year. And they were saying that they were living paycheck to paycheck. And the reason why is because they are spending, they're used to higher spending. And they've gotten into that habit. And so now housing prices being more expensive and interest rates being up, it's making them feel more stretched. So, especially with some of the other expenses like car loans are up and also college payments as well. Okay, next one. Okay, inventory. So this is really interesting. They're predicting that our inventory is going to end the year at 4 months of inventory. And we haven't seen 4 months of inventory since about 2018. So that's really super interesting that it is increasing inventory, because usually as inventory increases, then pricing can decrease. We've seen that in a lot of the Smile of America, where their inventory, like I still have a lot of Texas real estate agent friends, and what I have heard from them, Myra, you probably heard this quite a bit being in DFW. I don't know if you watch a lot of the houses available in DFW, but they're sitting on the market for double the time, and then half of them are falling out of contract 1 or 2 times before they actually sell, which has been really interesting. Myra, have you noticed a lot of that in the DFW area?
Absolutely, and price reductions every day on the hot sheet, there's so many price reductions, it's not even fun with this.
Yes, when it be happy in our area, right here.
Yep. So what we typically know that happens is it's more aggressive, like we said in that Smile of America. And so it will be coming, and it kind of is here in the Midwest, and it's not as aggressive. But again, hitting home on, we are the first ones, we are the educators. And with us being the educators, that means that we're teaching people things of what is coming. We're not doing fear tactics, so nobody's actually have to be scared of this, but we are saying that this is a skill that we need to have, and we need to be able to have benefit conversations of pricing it right. So make sure to keep coming back to that shift tactic, pricing it right, and teaching that over and over and over again. You can do script practice for education. You could do where it's more of a workshop or a round table where you guys can have script offs for price reductions or corrections. But inventory is a big part of this, to where we're seeing inventory increasing, which is really good for people, especially coming into the spring market and getting ready for the summer market. Inventory is increasing. So let's look at the monthly inventory on the next slide. Okay, so monthly inventory, you can see we're about half a month of inventory up each month. And so if this trend continues, that's where they're getting the predictions from. So that is a win. To have more inventory is a win, because remember, the last couple of years, we were all the way down into the 3 months of inventory, 2.5 months of inventory, and we've been living down sub 90 days of inventory for the past 4 or 5 years, which is huge. So this is a really big benefit, and it kind of brings peace of mind to buyers knowing that there is more options for them to choose from, especially if they're purchasing a more expensive house. Okay, next. Days on market is up a little bit, so we've gone, up from about 36, 38, up to 41, 42. We're seeing things sit a little bit longer. We've talked about this before, but the difference between houses sitting on the market versus not sitting on the market is how updated it is. Because people, Americans on average, have less cash saved up than they've ever had, and they have more debt than they've ever had. So they don't have the money to be putting into homes, to be renovating the home once they move into it. They don't want to customize it on their own. They want somebody else to do it and put in money for them. And those are the houses that are selling quicker. If it's not updated and it's not turnkey, then they typically don't have the money to be able to do it themselves, or they have a very limited budget to be able to do it themselves. And you have to price it more aggressively because of that. And we're seeing that show up on the days on market. Okay, let's hop over to mortgage rates. Let me just double.
The rest of it is more about, NAR numbers and things like that. Mortgage rates, the prediction 2025, we're gonna end around 6.3. We expect, they're kind of expecting rates to go down in the next week or so because of what's happening in the world, right? I hope, like, the takeaway, you guys, is days on market, all of that. It's all about pricing it right. And we have to be able to solve people's problems, right? So if people have been in their homes 10 years, they probably have stuff that does need updated. They do need those types of things. They might like to move, but they don't have the money to do that, right? Like, we have to 75% of top producing agents believe that they're gonna sell more this year than they did last year. And yet the difference of what will be sold from 2024 to 2025 is 4.1 and 4.3. Can you see how those numbers do not match up? Like, we're gonna have to do, like, think outside of the box, and anytime we can just solve people's problems, you will get the business, hands down. Like, what can we do to make it really simple for them, right? Whatever, maybe it's a construction company that they don't get paid until the home closes or half of it. I don't know what it is, but we need to be thinking about what opportunities we can provide for people and what's keeping them stuck and not making them move right now. Because they really do want to. By the way, the GDP of Indiana, we're in the top 5 for growth. Like, Indiana is killing it. So we're not seeing some of the stuff that the other states are. And Clark County is responsible for a significant portion of the GDP growth in Indiana. And when I look at where the business is really being done right now, it's Harrison County and it's Clark County. It is where it is. Or it is what it is. So, sorry we ran over. And if you all didn't know, this is Anna McKissick, our regional director of the Ohio Valley region. So I'm on a call with them every single Monday. It's one of my many Zoom calls, right? And so we get lots of amazing information, and this is just, this is what came out yesterday. So next week we'll go through what our office really did, in March, and how we're seeing those numbers shape up, and what we're seeing in the board, okay?
Where can we find that so we can see it?
I know.
I've got slides in front of them.
You did find the slides? Okay,
I will send them out in an email.
yeah, I will send them out.
Email
Put them on Facebook.
First team meeting.
Yeah, so everybody that's a team leader, an MCA, or an OP is on that call. There's a lot of us on there. I love Myra. Myra was my special director for majority of the time. You guys, thank you for coming. Let's have a great weekend. You're welcome. Thank you. for the cash.
We're up in, prize for winning the NCAA tournament. Prize.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Was that
win?
you? Are you team
I'm
money?
sure I did.
Are you team money?
Oh, yeah, she won it because she was managing it. Some bull crap right there.
Chris, you're Jones. Have you can do that. Hey, you might need help bring that picture up.
You can make some.
Was you team money? Team money is Tristan.
Oh, you and Tristan won it. Who put it together?
Tristan,
Who managed it? Who put it together?
Tristan won it. Can you find, so the nice.
That's some bull crap.
Mommy, like, can you strike this?
They were extremely desperate. They were extremely desperate for people.
About the people, it's the pose that you're in.
I don't know where they found it, because they asked for a picture and I said, I don't have it.
So.
I have no idea when that was taken.
So Bucky.
It is.
Thank you. For you.
Yeah.
This, yeah.
It's geeky all that.
I think in post.
I was first, Christy was second, I was third.
Love it.
And my daughter was fourth. Thank
And
you
the
so
rest
much
of the losers.
for today.
You're the ESPN fan.
Oh, did you
Picked
like?
Auburn to win, so you're the fifth.
What?
I was all the way down.
I wish I was in the room
Funny in the final game.
to, gauge.
I knew, oh my God.
Good see it.
Oh,
And it was. That, if I could put my orders out there, what they should have.
It was his
done
idea.
is-
Auburn should have won that game.
Just like
in
you
the
were having
first-
this.
One game that it was blue.
That's what I had to.
That
Well,
was
it's
bull.
always around the top, or along the back.
Hey, It's unnecessary, but.
One table is.
So
us,
you do an open
the
house.
rest of them.
If you've got clients, like these clients, they have big, and I go, oh my God, so.
For me, it's just.
They're